What's good, people? It's the kitchen here. Now, ever since Julian's departure from the new Rory and More podcast, there's been a few questions that I haven't had answered. Now, one of the questions, the main question of course being, why was he fired and how was he fired? Because we both know that this partnership didn't end in the best way. Because there's been a lot of things alluding to Julian not being happy with how his exit was executed, not only behind the scenes, but in the fans' eyes as well. Because Julian was there from the inception of the podcast. He was there just off the heels of Joe firing Rory and Maul. And they had to quickly form a podcast, form an LLC, do all these business moves. And Julian was a part of that. So for him to have a 30-second send-off really disappointed the fans and confused them. Because they knew something went on behind the scenes. So what the fans did was take to the comment section of the pod to air out their frustrations with not only the pod, but how they handled the Julian situation. And in fact, there was so much backlash that people started watching Demaris' vlogs and they realised that she may not be as experienced nor qualified when it comes to production and building a not only fun podcast but also an information-filled podcast. And I was also told from a secret source that Julian comes up with all these great ideas. He came up with the voicemails. He came up with the whole structure and the flow of the podcast. He also came up with the skits. I've been told Julian has his hand in all of these things. And I can't lie, now that Julian has been absent from the pod for almost 2-3 weeks, I can clearly see a difference. And the fans can see it too. Julian is needed on that podcast, I can't lie. It's still a very funny podcast, but I just feel like when certain subjects are handled, they're not handled the best way. And I feel like Julian would handle a lot of these topics with information and clarity. I feel like Rory, Maul and Demaris usually just laugh through the topics. They're not as serious with it. And I don't want them to be serious 100% of the time because of course I still want to laugh at a podcast, but a lot of the subjects just need to be handled a certain way, and I feel like Julian was there for that. I would even go into the Rory and Maul community, and I would go on Spaces and hear the different opinions of the Rory and Maul fans and how they feel about Julian not being there and how Demaris takes his place and how she balances the show now that her partner in crime Julian isn't there. And then I'm actually shocked because I hear somebody say that they watch Demaris' vlogs. And if you guys don't know, Demaris just started a vlog channel where she, just gets into the ropes of editing herself and doing certain things, displaying her life, displaying her daily struggles and things like that. If you guys want to watch it, I advise you guys to go there. But as I'm hearing this fan talk about Demaris, they revealed that she was never really into production and she started off as Rory's assistant.
Nah, bro, that's great. Having Baby D take your job is insane.
Yo, Julian could do 100,000 views if he does that. Why I left the Rory and Maul podcast.
I don't want to get in my right bag. DEI.
And then
That
not
shit
even
is
a
bullshit.
Baby D was a bartender, literally, right before she became a new Rory and Maul
how
producer.
you know that?
Because I watch her vlogs.
Oh shit! Damn,
She was literally a bartender in Syracuse and got the phone call.
Damn, she is unqualified?
Bro, that's who took your job, bro. That's who took your job, Julian.
Damn.
Demaris Taylor.
Damn.
Demaris Taylor is sick.
No, I was like, how'd you?
So according to her vlogs, she started off as a bartender and then Rory would call her and ask to help him with a couple of things which would then turn into a job position at the podcast. Now, is this good for Demaris? Yeah, it's pretty good for Demaris. She got a pretty easy come up. She can learn as she goes along with different editing software and while also learning the basic skills of production, which is also what a great friend would do. So I applaud Rory for that. He didn't have to do that for Demaris, but he did do it and kudos to him. Now, will this help him in the long run? I don't think so. Hiring your friends just because they're your friends won't get you to the positions that you want to be in. and in some cases may hinder your success, especially when you get rid of your well-experienced, well-educated co-producer, which was Julian. And I know what you're thinking, how do you know he's more qualified? How do you know he's more experienced? And I know this because I checked their LinkedIns. Now, I had a good idea that Julian was well experienced because sometimes he would talk about the different labels he's worked with on the pod, the different artists he's worked with on the pod. So he's well connected. He also works with Dreamville, and he also has a well-built resume on LinkedIn, which tells me he's well established in the areas that he talks about. Not only is he a production person, he is also a marketing person. He also does social media work. He does a lot of things. Now, I checked Demaris's, and I can't lie, there's not much on there. And that's not being shady. I just don't see a lot of work. And that's no knock to her. I just feel like in this instance, Julian would be more qualified in the areas that Rory Amore would need somebody to be. But hey, this is just another example of friendship privilege, where if you know somebody, you're gonna put them in position whether they deserve the spot or not. And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve the spot. I'm just saying that this exists in many industries. Damn near all the industries. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys feel like Demaris deserves her spot? Do you feel like the fans are going too far and that they should get over Julian leaving? Or do you in fact feel like they have a valid point? Once again, like I said, let me know in the comments. Till next time, it's your boy The Kitchen. Deuces.